Well, hello guys. So we've got a new assignment. As you know, we're going to be adding the background to our shoe drawing. And the background obviously is going to be influenced by the previous researched artists that we looked up, our pop artists. And as you can see in this example, I have quite a few different textures. I have probably 3 or 4 different textures that I've added to this. But one thing that I will say with this work in particular, still the focus is on the shoes. So although you're going to be adding some textures and patterns and drawings and different things like that to your actual background, you do need to find a way to either by framing the piece, kind of like what I did right here, or adding a pattern, like I've got a boulder pattern back here outside of the shoe that's kind of a repetition of this pattern here, or you could actually leave a blank space around your main object, or either fill in the space behind it. So there's many things that you could do to draw the eyes to your actual shoes. So we'll get back into that, but I wanted to go through the actual stages of this assignment. So you guys initially are going to have a research assignment. So your research assignment is going to be attached on Schoology, and it's going to look something like this. And on this particular research assignment, you guys are going to be looking at a couple of different artists. So just decide, narrow down which 2 artists do you feel like could influence you on this particular drawing. So you'll have just your sources from the previous research and just kind of look at that. Take your drawing out, be looking at your drawing at the same time that you're actually looking at your previous research. And I do encourage y'all to, if you have research that you think you could plug that into your drawing, then use it. But if not, if you feel like, gosh, I need to look up a bit more from that particular artist, please do. I would really recommend that y'all do that anyway. So the first little part, and like I said, this is my teacher example. I have a blank copy of the research that you guys are going to be doing attached in another document from this on Schoology. So the first thing y'all are going to do is find your artist that you like, and in this case I've got Roy Lichtenstein. And what I am wanting y'all to do is to write down at least one pattern that the artist uses in his work that you believe you are going to use in your work. So I had put down dots. Now optionally, if you want to add another pattern that Lichtenstein did that will help to influence you, I had put diagonal and radiating lines. The main thing to know before we totally get into this is that you need to have at least 3 different patterns on your drawing. So when you consider that on one of these artists, and you're going to be researching 2, you're going to have at least more than 1 examples of patterns. So if you look at mine below, I have dots here, and then I have the diagonal, the radiating lines here, and then I have another example of dots here. So if you look at my drawing, I've got the little dots here. I have the radiating lines that are coming out of this. It almost looks like a word bubble that you would have in a comic strip that's very similar to him in what he has done. So that's my example for him. And so the next artist that I'm choosing to research is Mr. Jasper Johns. And on Mr. Jasper Johns, I've included the one pattern that I need is stars, and that's one of the things that he's got repeated in his work. And I also have curved lines, and then I have stripes. So I type those things in. That's what you guys are going to need to do. And as you can see with Mr. Johns, I've got the stars right here, I've got the stripes right there, and then I have the curved lines. So if you look here on my drawing, I've got the stars right here. I also have the stripes radiating out that way. And then I also chose to include some curved lines around my edges and curved lines right here. So variety of different things going on there, influenced by him. And you can, it's interesting how these artists overlap each other. It was kind of hard for me because I was like, well, some of those are influenced by other artists, but they're all kind of in the same camp, although there are a variety of differences between all the artists. But anyway, so those are my two artists that I chose from, but you guys are welcome to choose any of the four that we had researched. And I had, in your actual instructions, and your instructions are a little bit different than my teacher example. It starts off and it actually gives you a listing of the particular artist, and it tells a little bit, just a summary about their style and their subject matter and what they do in their art. So I would definitely review that before you start to think about what you want to add in your piece, just to give you a little heads up right there. So, and your sheet is actually the same as mine when you get into the research part of the assignment. I just didn't share this front little cover. So the next little part of your assignment, after you research those two artists and you show me, you copy and paste those examples where you're supposed to, what y'all are going to do is you're going to research some patterns or some drawings that contain some interest. And they're personal interest from you. They're not anything that the artist may have done. It's just something that you would be interested in to help to bring out your shoes. So I do want y'all to put your own personal flair. And I will say, from the artist that you guys researched, I want y'all to mold that and make that personal also to you. So, I'm not really wanting you to copy, but I do want you to be inspired and for it to be obvious that that or those were the artists that you use. So what I decided to do, since I do have a checkered pattern on my shoe, I decided to use the checkered pattern and repeat that in the background behind my shoe. I also decided to use shooting stars coming off of my shoe just to give a little bit more personality to my shoe. So if you look at my very background, I've got the repeat of the pattern that you see in the shoe back there. That's always a good thing to do, is to repeat something or to do the style of the shoe somewhere in the background, just to give it some solidity and some purpose there. And then I have these little radiating lines coming out over here, and then also on this little side right there. So that was just a little something extra that I had decided to do on my particular shoe design. So anyway, so that is the latter part of your research. And let's see here. Yep. All right. And, oh yeah. So the very last part of the research, this is not required. If you have a third artist that you want to include just as an extra artist, you certainly can. I had an extra artist, but I didn't have enough information to actually state what I needed to state there. So I put a little influence of Keith Haring right there. You can look at my little figure, but since it wasn't a pattern or anything like that, I really couldn't answer those questions. It's funny when the teacher gets stumped by the teacher. So I just left it at 2 artists. So if you've got the minimum of 2, you're good to go, y'all. So here's the deal. This is the drawing assignment. Let's see here. Your drawing assignment looks like this, and I have that attached. This really small writing. I apologize to you guys, but basically what y'all are doing is you're just using the artist that you researched, and you are looking at those drawings, and you are including your interest in your background as well. You're going to be doing just a contour drawing for this assignment. You don't have to say, you didn't have to like shade in anything like I did right here You don't have to do anything extra to your shoe unless I tell you to correct it. At the very, very top of this, it does say that please correct your shoe drawing. If mentioned, I am grading y'all based on, if you corrected the past assignment. So make sure you do those things before you get started. But, I'm just wanting a really good drawing. If you're wanting to thicken up some of your lines, like I thickened up some of my lines or filled some of those in around my shoe just to remind myself whenever I use my marker that that's going to be kind of a bold area in my shoe. But just know, in a next assignment in 2021, we're actually going to be filling these things in markers. So I definitely would not worry, obviously, about the marker now. You can be thinking about that, during the break. But the main thing is you just want to follow directions. You want the drawings to reflect the research. You want a clear focal point. You want your patterns and all that to be supportive of your focal point, to draw the eye in. You want them to be unified and observed and thoughtfully arranged there. You want that nice variety and balance and all those fun words right there. And the craftsmanship, just if you've got a straight line, make sure you erase them. If this is supposed to be straight, make sure that's straight. If you need a circular shape right there, by all means, you can trace a circular shape. That's absolutely fine. I had made like a teeny tiny drawings of these little stars, and I repeated them over and over and over again. Right there, I actually traced and transferred. If you're wondering, like, how the heck did she do that? That's exactly how I did it. So there's nothing wrong with doing that sort of thing to actually save you time. I mean, I don't want you tracing what somebody else did, but if you draw something and repeat it and transfer it, or however you want to do, or make copies and trace what you drew, whatever makes things work for you. So this and the research are actually due on Tuesday the 15th by 3:30. So your research is minor grades, and then this drawing the background and then correcting your shoe drawing, if you needed to correct that, that is a major grade, and that is the last grades for this second 9 weeks. So do a good job. I'm really proud of this assignment. I think that you guys are going to have a lot of fun with this. Just make this just a time for you guys just to enjoy yourselves this last week of school. And if you have any questions, just let me know. All right, thank you.